What is up, guys? This is Pinzo back with another video today, and what I have for you guys is some patch notes. So I just woke up, I got the patch notes out, and we are going to go over them. I haven't seen most of this, right? We got a sneak peek at some of the items on the dev stream, right? We haven't seen Mourn's kit yet. Mourn, obviously, this is Mourn, the newest hero. Update 1.3, this releases tomorrow. As you guys are seeing this video, it releases on the 14th. It'll come out, way in the morning for NA folks. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. So original hero, dynasty skins, don't know what that means. A bunch of new items. Again, we got to sneak peek some of the new items, but more of these. Hero role swaps, the new hero, new videos, stuff like that. Account linking, this is a big one. It's a big one. But we're going to jump into it. Let's go. So Mourn is a tank. That is like a CC tanky support is kind of what he is. He has base stats, don't care about those. 300 auto range, that's pretty average. That's the only stat in here that matters. Anyway, passive. Mourn's next basic attack gains additional range, dealing bonus damage to all additional damage to enemies in front of him, converting all the damage dealt to magical damage, damaging an enemy hero, heals him for percent max HP. All right, that's pretty good. Okay. This doesn't say the cooldown on this. I don't know what causes this to happen, but he whips. He whips, and he gets a bunch of HP back. 90% auto attack scaling. Crit Mourn, perhaps. All right, his primary, this is his Q, Contagion. He vomits magical bugs that attach to nearby allied and enemy heroes. Mourn and allied heroes restore health, so this is a heal. Okay, and they gain armor for the duration. So for 3 seconds, they gain 10% of Mourn's, I'm assuming this is Mourn's armor. And then they heal a little bit. That's pretty cool. Enemies take damage and have their base armor reduced. And their bonus armor reduced. So, let's see. That range is pretty good. Assuming this is pretty close to max range, that's pretty good range. So, a little heal plus damage, and then your team gets tanky, their team gets less tanky. This is going to be really good to, let your carry get kills. Beguile, his E. One sec, what's the cooldown on this? 15 scaling to 9, okay. His E, 16 scaling to 12. Mourn channels energy into his fist, expanding up to 800 units over the duration, gaining damage reduction. He gets damage mit, and slows himself. At the end of the duration, enemies take damage and are mezzed. What is mez in this game? You can see the radius going out. So is this a taunt? This appears to be a taunt. Grux walks towards him. This looks like a taunt. Mesmerize and Smite is like a stun that breaks on damage. So this is obviously not that. I don't know if Mesmerized in League of Legends is similar to a taunt. This kind of looks like a taunt. But that looks cool. It's a taunt. The radius gets bigger if you hold it longer. That's pretty cool. You get damage mit while you charge it, so you can use it for that as well. Also kind of neat. Let's see. Abduct. Channel up to 3 seconds, slowing yourself to wind up your vines, increasing their range. After 3 seconds, it will be canceled and go on 50% cooldown. So if you don't use it, you lose it. This is like Terra Dash. Confirmed to unleash a torrent of vines to collide with enemies. Enemies hit by the ability are partially pulled towards Mourn and slowed. You guys can't hear this. I'll turn this. Sorry, I just realized that I had this muted. You guys can't hear the sound effects. I mean, that looks like a little bit more than partially pulled. That just looks like a Richter hook. That kind of just looks like a channeled Richter hook. But that's not too bad. Slowing yourself, increasing their range. So if you fast click this, the range is lower. If you full hold this, the range will be longer. They get slowed. Damage on this is pretty good. The first enemy unit, so I'm guessing this hits minions, is ultimate Eclipse. Long cooldown. Absorbs light from the map for 4 seconds, causing all enemy heroes to have massively reduced vision for the duration. During this time, Mourn gains move speed. Okay, I'm guessing this is the vision range. You can see it on the ground here. I'm guessing this little AoE, this little aura here is Grux's vision range. So this is like Shibalonke ultimate. This is just a blind. Interesting. Looks cool. Has a lot of crowd control. This Mez is pretty neat. It is interesting. It's a pretty short cooldown. This is going to be probably his primary CC ability. And then he has healing. I don't know. Looks pretty cool. I'll have to see how he plays. See if he can jungle, maybe play off lane, that kind of thing. I'm curious. Moving into skins, Invasion Mourn. He gets a recolor. That looks kind of nice, actually. Dynasty Murdoch. Oh, must be the Dynasty skins they were talking about. So these are like the Shogun skins. So Murdoch, Grux gets his dragon skin. I believe this one was in Paragon or something similar. And I do like this one. Sparrow, Quang. These all look pretty good. Sparrow and Quang, these are like kind of recolors. Murdoch's is a little bit more intricate, so is Grux's. Looks good to me. Account linking. So you guys can now link your accounts. So you can move game data from one platform to another. This is pretty cool, especially if you have an account on console or an account on PC and you want them to be the same account, right? This is really good for that. That's very, very good. Level up rewards. So basically, if you were past like level 20, you didn't get the level up rewards that came out when they added them. You'll get them now. Draft improvements, swapping. There will be draft swapping now. You'll be able to swap roles, heroes, and draft order. Is really good. Those are all really good quality of life changes. So role swapping, you can swap your role with people. This is mostly only matters for the jungler player, right? If you swap jungle role, now you can get the hunt item. Hero swapping, once you both lock in your heroes, you can swap them. So that, if your jungler is last pick, then you can lock in Yin #1 and give him to your jungler. You can also swap positions now. So I don't know. This doesn't matter as much. Position swapping doesn't matter as much if there's hero swapping in the game. They kind of do this. They kind of fulfill the same function, but having both is good quality of life. 24/7 ranked. When are we getting this? Does this say? Starting with the release of 1.3, ranked mode will be around the clock on NA and EU for 14 days. So for 2 weeks, we'll have 24/7 ranked. And we'll see what this does, right? We'll see how much this affects it. Personally, I don't really play ranked. Like, I wouldn't play ranked outside of the normal ranked hours, generally speaking. So we'll see how much this affects it. But it is good now to test it out, right? We got a 2-week test on it. Tower plates. So tower plates are now in the game. Basically, there's 4 health bars to a tower. Every time you kill a quarter of it, the tower gets tankier, but you gain gold. You get gold for getting that tower plate, that 25%. And then you'll also get tower gold when the whole tower is done. It's a cool thing. It makes towers a little harder to take because you can see this lasts until the 15-minute mark. Right now, towers do have early game protections. Towers are considerably tankier until the 8-minute mark. So the fact that now they'll be tankier later into the game, but you have the ability to get more gold from a tower is really good. It kind of benefits you staying in your lane. It can punish rotations because they don't have to take your tower to get a gold lead on you. That's pretty good. So let's see. What exactly is this? Outer towers. This is only tier 1 towers. After 15 minutes, it's removed. While they're fortified, they have 25%. Yeah, so every time you get 25% of a tower, each gold pickup is 110 gold per plate. So you can potentially get 330 gold for 3 plates and then the tower gold. I don't know if the last plate will give you the plate gold and tower gold. I'm not sure. It could be 800 gold. It could be 750, right? I don't know exactly what you'll get total from this, but you do get a lot for this. Plate gold is shared between allies within the radius, so keep that in mind. The gold pickups, the little orbs that fall on the ground after you take a plate, these do last for 25 seconds, so you kind of have to be there. If minions get your tower plate, you gotta haul your ass over there to get the gold. Upon getting a plate, so basically upon getting 25% of a tower, the tower gets incredibly tanky for like 10 seconds, so that you kind of have to get a plate and then back off, is sort of the way that it works. It's going to be really hard to take a full tower all at once early game. All towers are no longer grant local gold to nearby killers. Oh, okay, hold up. Instead, tower local gold is now dropped as 2 gold pickups for all towers on destruction. These grant the same amount of local gold and share it among allies. Okay, so there is still local gold. It's just shared a little bit differently. All right. 14 new items plus a returning classic. Interesting. New stat, ultimate haste. So this is ability haste that only affects your ultimate, basically. So yeah, they break it down. If you have 10 ability haste and 15 ultimate haste, your ult has 25% haste, but your basic abilities only have 10. So ultimate haste, pretty self-explanatory, kind of does what it says, you know what I mean? This is the new health pot. New health pot is basically an upgrade. It gives you a little more HP, and it gives you mana. And it's still 2 charges, refill on base. Pretty good. 350 gold to upgrade this. Lucky Feather, 700 gold. It has 3% Omnivamp. You deal 5% increased damage to minions and monsters, and upon killing one, you gain 7 gold. This item will destroy itself if you die, and sells for a reduced value of 300 gold. Is less than what a normal 700 gold item would sell for. This is a cool item. I'm not sure how good it'll be. I don't know. I would imagine carry players probably like this. Mid laners, I don't know. Maybe on Iggy, just because your clear is so good no matter what, and getting extra gold is always good. Maybe you buy it on Iggy, I'm not sure. Tier 2 items, so Razor Claw, 850. It has attack speed, lifesteal on it. That's pretty good. Redwood Shortbow, 900, 20% attack speed and 8 haste. Pretty good. 1,000 gold for 30 armor and 80% regen. That's not terrible. Depends what this builds into. Sai is 20% attack speed for pen. Okay, so we have an attack speed pen item now. That's pretty good. Spirit Shiv, power and mana. Okay. And then moving into full items, full tier 3 items. Viper is coming back. Power, attack speed, and pen. It still has corrode on it. Eroded heroes receive 8% increased on hit damage and ability damage from you. So this does not affect your team, but they received increased damage from you. This will be good on like Cringe Blast, maybe. It's a pen item now. It does have attack speed on it, which Twin Blast doesn't really care about on the ability build. But maybe you build this on Cringe Blast. Maybe you build this on Skylar, something like that. Might not be bad. Assassin items. So Assassin's got a couple of items. We saw some of these in the dev stream. You have Spear of Deso. 45 power, 7 pen, 10 haste. Pretty solid base stats. Fairly cheap item. Upon casting your ultimate, you deal 7% increased damage for 6 seconds. And then it gives you ult haste. So on a character like Kalari or Feng Mao, this will probably be pretty good. I would struggle to see how this would be bad, specifically on Feng Mao, assuming that this doesn't say it has a cooldown on it. So assuming that you get this every time you recast your ultimate, if you get 1 execute in a fight and you get to recast your ult, this is basically just 7% increased damage for the rest of the fight, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. So this seems like it'll be good to me. Psionic Echo, 45 power, 7 pen, 10 haste, 12% lifesteal. Pretty good base stats for the cost. Upon casting an ability, your next 2 basic attacks gain attack speed. And then melee heroes only, basically whenever you cast an ability, it resets your basic attack counter, which means it turns whatever you have into a true auto cancel. It basically means that on characters like Feng Mao's E is not, I think, the right example. Xeris right click, Xeris spear. When you tap the spear, it's not auto spear auto. It's auto spear auto. It's a pause after the spear while you're waiting for your auto attack to essentially come off of cooldown. That is why on characters like Xeris specifically, if you build attack speed, your abilities come out faster. Your right click essentially is a faster ability because you have attack speed. It makes your auto attack cancel faster. This will make all abilities true auto cancels for all heroes. The base stats on this are pretty good. I would imagine you build this on like damage Xeris if you're going Assassin Xeris. Feng Mao probably likes this. Kalari probably likes this. This seems like a pretty good ability, or a pretty good item. Rapture, this one got a lot of talk on the dev stream. Attack speed, health, haste, omnivamp. Basically, while you're close to somebody, this is not melee only. It's just while you're close to somebody. Your basic attacks do damage based on your bonus HP and your bonus physical power on hit. This does not have power on it, but if you are building Bruiser, it's going to be, I think, a pretty good item. Like on characters like Grux, even like Tanky Xeris, this could be a pretty good item. Tyranny, power, HP, haste. Upon casting your ult, you gain move speed and haste. Takedowns re-trigger the effect. So this is kind of like old augmentation, except if you get a kill or an assist during these 8 seconds, it acts like Ortis, where you get 8 more seconds of the effect, which is pretty good. That's a lot of move speed to gain. 20 haste is also like nothing to scoff at, right? Your abilities are up pretty much. Your abilities are up a decent amount faster with 20 haste than they are without 20 haste. Support item, Quantum Core. This is the one that gives you Teleblink. It just has base stats. Teleblink can't be used in combat, but it has a 2-minute cooldown rather than a 5-minute cooldown. And it gives you ultimate haste, which is pretty cool. Catalytic Drive. This is the one that seemed the most broken to me personally. So it's a magic armor item. And basically, it's if you guys are familiar with Smite, this is Cannoneer's Cuirass. Your next basic attack will execute an enemy minion, and then it does an AoE shockwave around that minion that does damage. It also heals you when you execute this minion. This is, I believe, does this say in the patch or in the dev stream? I believe this said it was on a 15-second cooldown. It doesn't say right here. 15 seconds means you can potentially get 2 per wave. And then upon executing 25 minions, this item evolves. It evolves into Cybernetic Drive, so it gets a little better base stats. It keeps the minion execute, which is pretty neat. So you still get a little bit of minion clear on this, and it gives you 15% increased physical and magical armor, which is really good. I really struggle to see how this item would ever be bad. It's fairly cheap to buy the first time. Yes, it's magic armor, so in physical matchups, buying this first is going to be a little annoying, but you heal for a decent amount every time you execute a minion, which can be up to 2 times per wave, so you can just play like a total little bitch and sit under tower and execute minions, and this is going to be a pretty good item. We previously mentioned we'd hoped to add 18 items. Some of those extra items didn't quite meet the checks and that were shelved. Okay, that's a bummer. Bonesaw's gone. Big bummer. Gameplay changes. Yeah, this is just talking about the gameplay changes. Minions. Minion XP reward distance decreased. Thank God. This has always been too far. This is a good change. Jungle. Fangtooth is a little bit tankier late game. Looks like it just scales a little harder. Primal Fang does more damage. Mini Prime also a little bit tankier. That's pretty cool. Argus, moving into balance changes. Argus, Particle Shredder, his right click, reduced base damage, but reduced mana cost. So you get 12 less damage at max rank, but it costs 5 less mana. So it's a change. You'll be able to use this more, but you have to hit people with it more in order to get the same amount of damage. General, attack speed increased. That's a good change for Feng Mao. Feng Mao loves attack speed. Hamstring, more base damage on this, more slow, increased cooldown. Okay. 2 seconds increased cooldown, rank 1 is pretty tough. That's a lot, because like rank 1 Feng Mao, you can kind of run people down. Now it's going to be much harder. Late game, this is just a buff. Early game, this is going to be a pretty significant nerf, especially in the solo lane. Even to his jungle clear, this will be a big nerf. Gideon, his Q damage decreased by 10. Okay. Right click damage decreased by 5. Loses a little bit of damage. Very cool. Iggy and Scorch, turrets lose a little bit of max HP. That's a really good change. Iggy turrets are way too tanky. They're probably still too tanky after this, but they're way too tanky right now. Quang, physical power decreased, a little less auto damage early game. Strike of the Heavens, his passive gets a damage reduction Basic ability cooldown refund decreased to half a second. This is what it was on Kwang's release, and it was bad. But it now also grants cooldown reduction against monsters. So jungle Kwang gets a huge buff. Offlane Kwang gets a pretty big nerf. So this won't work against lane minions, but against jungle camps, you'll get your cooldowns back faster. So this is a really big buff to jungle Kwang. His Q gets a reduction on the mana cost, a reduction on the cooldown, but also less damage. His dash gets a cooldown reduction late game. His right click gets a little less damage, more power scaling, so damage Kwang will still be fine. True damage decreased by 20 late game. Shield also decreased. Cooldown also decreased. So, and then the ult gets a small damage nerf. So Kwang changes. He does a little less damage, but he'll get cooldowns. His cooldowns will be a little lower, but with the nerf to his passive, he will still probably get cooldowns less often than he did before. So this is kind of a shift. This is a nerf to Kwang, I would say, all around a nerf, but a bit of a shift to where late game, this character will probably be a little better than he currently is, but early game will be, especially in the solo lane, will be significantly rougher for this hero. Doc, move speed on his E reduced, and then cooldown on his ultimate increased. Good changes. Kira, her right click, total physical power scaling decreased to 80% at all ranks. All right. Phase now shows the cooldown reduction on level up of the ability in upgrade info. Epic. Sereth passive cooldown refund goes down. It used to be 75%. They reduced it to 70. Now it's 65%. This is a huge nerf to Sereth. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be, but when you get a reset, most of the time you're not very healthy, and you need your Q instantly. The most of the time, you have to get a reset and be able to immune onto somebody, press Q on somebody. So reducing the cooldown refund is a big deal for Sereth. Sevarog. Siphon gets 5 damage back. He gets some more cleave. Very cool. Skylar. Let's see what they do to Skylar. Her thrust, her E, damage decreased by 5. Flight movement speed bonus decreased. This damage decrease doesn't really matter. This does. The move speed you get from this ability is crazy. I'm glad that they're nerfing it. Her ultimate, reduced base damage, reduced scaling, missing health damage decreased by a little bit, mostly early game. So early game, this ability will be worse. Late game, it'll be very similar to what it's currently at. Her ultimate is the main pain point of this character right now. It's just so good. Like, if you're a carry and you're half HP, you kind of just die to Skylar ultimate, which is really ridiculous. That probably shouldn't happen, right? And late game, that will still kind of happen, but at like level 10, this won't happen anymore. Sparrow, her slow is increased by a little bit, by 5% at all ranks. This is, if you guys want a little Sparrow tip, okay, max your Q. This is a little known Sparrow tip. A lot of people don't do this. If you max Q on Sparrow, your rundown potential, your kill potential on the enemy duo lane is actually pretty good, because this is a crazy slow. 45% at max rank is wild. So it's a pretty good ability if you max it first and then you max E second, piercing shot last. Pretty good ability. Wraith, his snipe is getting changed. Increased base damage. Well, decreased early, increased late game. Interesting. Less scaling. Projectile speed increased. Now benefits from lifesteal. Mana refund decreased. Okay, interesting. That, I don't know how I feel about that. The increased projectile speed will be nice. Benefits from lifesteal is crazy. Because now you can build, like, Nightfall on this hero, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what the implication of this is. I don't think you're building lifesteal on this champ, but maybe you do? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's for the new assassin item. There's one of the assassin items has lifesteal on it. I don't know. Interesting. Yin, please nerf this champ. Passive, attack speed decreased a tiny bit. Okay, you have to keep in mind 8 stacks, so this is 4% that it's reduced by at all ranks. Smoothness improved for higher latency users. Good. Yin Q feels bad. The rest of her kit feels good. Windburn, max HP damage decreased by 0.5%, and the cooldown goes up a little bit. That's not very much. Her ultimate slow decreased, cooldown increased. Cooldown increased early game. Wait, no, increased. I'm reading. This is really weird formatting, but yes, increased. These aren't big nerfs to Yin. This character will still probably be pretty good. Zinx, her passive gives way less move speed now. Okay. Item changes. Liberator gets another cooldown increase, 165. Keep in mind they buffed the other cleanses like 3 or 4 patches ago by giving them 135-second cooldowns. So Witch Stalker now is going back up to 150, but Brutal Axe is still 135. Now Liberator will be 165, which is pretty crazy. Epoch goes up to 150. This used to be 120, and they nerfed it to 135. Now it's 150. This item is really, really good. So the fact that they're nerfing this kind of makes sense. Reclamation cooldown also goes up. That's a huge nerf to Reclamation. 30 extra seconds means that this is... I don't even know if you build this anymore. I'll keep it 1,000. I don't even know if you build this anymore. Composite bow, less attack speed, more on-hit damage, little less cost. Polar treads, less move speed. Ashbringer, it costs more power, less attack speed, less haste. Your basic attacks decrease your current ability cooldowns by 12%, reduced to 5% against non-heroes. So Ashbringer will work against non-heroes now. Hitting objectives or minions or whatever will still decrease your cooldowns. It's just significantly less. It is also percent-based now. So you get more if you're auto-canceling, right? You get a little more value out of this. Maybe this will be a usable item now. I don't know. Maybe this will be a usable item now. Demolisher. Let's see what they do to demo. More power, less pen. Removed the HP damage. Your basic attacks and crit strikes additionally ignore 30% of their bonus armor. So this has 20% pen base on it. And then your basics and your crits, so your auto attacks, will ignore 30% of their bonus armor. So against people who are stacking physical defense, this will be very, very good. Nuke rounds. Cost way reduced. 45 power, 40% attack speed. Now has 15 haste. Is this still crit? Is Ashbringer still crit? Does this still have 20% crit? That's my question. It builds off of Claymore, so it must still have crit. Interesting. I don't know. I'm assuming this still has crit on it. Havoc ability damage based on critical strike chance increased. So, okay, so this is going to be a good item now. Assuming this still has crit on it. Robust Arbalist has crit. So, assuming this still has crit, which I'm guessing it does, this will be a pretty good item. 40% attack speed is a lot. It does only have 15 haste now, but that's a lot of attack speed. Quiver, reduced cost. Keen Strikes passive removed. I don't know which one this is. Is this the ranged hero one? Yeah. So this is the ranged hero one. Melee heroes gain 5% additional critical chance for every 20% crit chance they have. Additionally, they gain 1% mit for every 10% health they're missing. So this no longer gives the additional lifesteal, I think, that it currently gives at low HP. But you can now get 100% crit chance on 4 items as a melee. I feel like that doesn't matter. Who are you building 100% crit chance on as a melee character? Even if you can do it in 4 items, I don't think that matters. Maybe you do this and build 2 crit items to get 50%. I'm not sure. I mean, this still doesn't have power on it. Like, what melee character are you playing where you're okay with building crit you're forced to build an item that doesn't have power, because you can't build this early game. I don't know. Plasma Blade gains 20% base crit chance. The crit chance per stack is decreased to 4%. So max stacks, this will still be, right, this stacks 8 times. So this will be 44%, no, 30, 50, 53%, 52% crit max stacks. A little more than it currently gives right now, I believe. Wait, does it stack 5 times? This gives 40% crit right now. Yeah, this will still be 40%. I'm lying to you guys. This will be 40% crit full stacked. You just get crit base now. Resolution, recipe change, very cool. Spectra, less cost, attack speed decreased, damage also decreased. Okay, I don't know what that matters. Solaris, increased cost, decreased power, decreased haste. Solar Blade damage scaling changed from 110% or 100% crit chance to 15% bonus physical power. Good. Solar Blade's damage can now critically strike. Good. Solar Blade now heals you for 50% of the damage dealt. That's going to be a good item now. This item currently, not good. After this, will be good. The fact that it heals you is really good. The fact that it can crit makes it useful. The fact that it actually does damage now, also useful. I think this will be pretty good on characters like Kira, even on Twin Blast. You'll probably buy this. Deathstalker, less pen. You get more pen from the passive, and the stacks, max stacks are decreased. Wait, so this went from 10 to 12 pen max. So you do gain 1 pen off of this if they're fully stacked. Still probably not a very good item. If you're playing an assassin, you don't really want to sit there and auto people. That's the issue with the item. Shadow activation time decreased to 2 seconds on Echelon Cloak. Cool. Cooldown refund on Omen to 30%. Dude, this is such an odd item, man. Maybe you buy this on Feng Mao now because your base cooldowns are a little longer early game. But I don't know. It's just when you build ability haste on a hero, you don't need Omen anymore because you have haste, and the more haste you have, the less that Omen matters because it's percent based. I don't know. Maybe you buy it on Feng Mao. Maybe you can go like Mindrazor Omen or Malady Omen again, and it'll be good. Who knows? We'll see. Basilisk, gain 5% move speed for 2 seconds when damaging eroded targets. So Bazzi no longer an anti-tank item. Not really. It doesn't give you the HP damage that it used to, but you'll gain movement speed. You'll be sticky when you get on people. Bonesaw removed from the game. Earthshaker max stacks decreased. Very cool. Gaia Greaves, movement speed stack gain rate decreased, so this will stack up a little slower. Mist Meadow gains health regen. Okie dokie. Tainted Blade, reduced power. This is a good item. Mega Chasm, magic power decreased to 65. Probably doesn't stop this from being a good item. Tainted Scepter, damage scaling on the passive decreased. This is still 15 stacks. I mean, this is still almost 20% power scaling of true damage added to your ability. Probably still a good item. Galaxy Greaves, more cost, less mana regen, less out of combat, less jump height. So a full nerf to Galaxy Greaves. Interesting. Elefrost. Frostblade no longer grants mana restore on use. That's kind of a bummer, but probably fine. This item still has mana regen. Fist of Riz. Bonus damage to minions decreased to 35%. Solid. This item is, once again, very, very good. So the fact they're nerfing it makes sense. A bunch of bug fixes. If you guys want to tell me that there's something cool in here, epic. Otherwise, I don't really care about bug fixes, generally speaking. Wait. Fixed an issue where players could override their hero's model in draft, resulting in interesting outcomes. Skin bug is fixed, guys. That's a bummer, but skin bug is done. Yeah, so patch looks good. The new items look really sick. So the changes to like crit items, I don't really understand some of these. Like Nuke Rounds was already like a decent item on a few heroes, in my opinion. So like this is just gonna make it good on a lot of heroes. Quiver, I don't think this item will be good. Like Yin probably likes this item still. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be bad. What else? Solaris, I think this will be good now. I like this change though. This is gonna make like auto attacking or like kind of ability carries, this will make them interesting. So we'll see what they do. Other than that, patch looks good. New hero looks sweet. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to play him yet, so we'll be figuring that one out together as we get there. The nerfs look fine. The yin nerfs are small. I kind of wish they were bigger, to be honest. Other than that, the Skylar nerfs also kind of small. Kind of wish those were a tiny bit bigger. But the rest of the changes in the patch look pretty good. So we'll see what happens. Tower plating is huge, right? That's a huge change. The new items look sick, and the new hero looks sick. So let me know what you guys think of the patch notes. If you guys have questions, you guys can always leave questions in the comment section down below. I will try to get to them as long as I have an answer. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the patch notes. So this patch goes live tomorrow. Obviously, you guys can catch me at twitch.tv/Pinzo. I'll be playing the patch pretty much as soon as it goes live tomorrow. So jump in there. But that's all I've got for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed patch notes. As always, guys, I've been Pinzo. This video's donezo. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.